Oh, and Jimmy Woo maybe a little bit. I don't know. He wasn't really in the last episode at all, but he's a great character.
He will be.
Yeah. Let's see. I want to make sure I can see everybody's comments there. And I can see them if I turn my head in a certain way because it's on my other monitor. But yeah, welcome. Anyways, yeah, so let's get started right away. Again, you have been warned. This is spoilers, so if you're not caught up with WandaVision or you care about spoilers, then you may want to turn away. But I want you to watch my video, so I also want you to stay. So if you have caught up or you don't care about spoilers, please stick around. We're going to be talking all about it today. Also, just one little comment. I finally fixed my my on-screen thingies, so if you super chat, we will see it in the video on screen. So that's a lot of fun, and we will try to answer. No, we will definitely. If you super chat, we will 100% answer it because, well, you super chatted, and thank you for super chatting. Anyways, as you can tell from the screen here, the first thing that we're going to be talking about today is Vision, and a lot of people have been calling this. This was the after credits of episode 8. They showed the director of Sword powering up this white Vision with some of Wanda's power that he got from when she zapped his little drone, you know.
Right.
Anyways, people have been calling this white Vision. A lot of people online have been correcting those videos by saying this is spectral Vision, and I would agree with you. But spectral Vision / white Vision has shown up a couple of times in the comics, and he is better known as spectral Vision. But it's not incorrect actually to call him white Vision.
Oh, they actually call him white Vision.
We got a super chat from AK, and look at how it magically appears on screen with my little fun zombie guy.
Awesome.
And AK just super chatted $20. Thank you so much, AK. You didn't say anything in that super chat. You could have, but if you say something else, we'll definitely answer any questions you have or anything else. But I think you just wanted to super chat $20, so super thank you to AK.
So do they actually call him white Vision in the comics as well as spectral Vision?
So spectral Vision is like his official name, but like other characters like Thor have been like, who's this white Vision? You know, okay. So like I think it's okay to call him white Vision. a lot of people have been calling him white Vision, and you don't have to get mad at people for calling him white Vision. All I'm saying.
Although I will say Richie was mad. It really chapped his ass. Am I allowed to swear?
You can say ass. Okay. That's fine.
Cool.
Anyways, so that was a thing. Anyways, so what we've been talking about is what is this white Vision going to sound like? Because in that after credit scene, he just like looked at his hand, and you know, you really get those like I've got no strings on me, Ultron vibes. Could they have gotten James Spader back to play the voice of Spectral Vision?
I think no.
You think no? It would be a little weird to have Paul Bettany's body with James Spader's voice coming out.
Yeah, like there's no reason why the Vision's body would have the voice of Ultron, because I mean Ultron was killed at the end of Age of Ultron, and
Grogu the Hutt donated €5 through Super Chat. Thank you so much, Grogu.
Did Grogu ask a question?
No.
Oh, okay. But well, then again, I guess it wouldn't make any. There's no reason why Vision's body would have Paul Bettany's voice either. Yeah, because it's just the body, right?
Yeah, maybe he just won't speak.
It would be weird if they dubbed over his lips with
James Spader.
James Spader, that would feel so weird, right? Like it would be. I don't know. I think it's going to be Paul Bettany, but then it's going to be really weird when we inevitably have the Vision versus Vision fight, and it's just Paul Bettany talking to himself.
Yeah,
it'll maybe have some like voice modulation, some more robotic sounding. Yeah, or maybe he doesn't talk at all. Maybe he's just like super sinister.
Thank you so much to Ikaram for also super chatting. And Ikaram saying hopping on AK's train. Oh, and then I saw it before it appeared. See, everybody wants a piece of this now. Killjoy just super chatted 20 and says the zombie guy is cute. Thank you so much.
20 streak.
I agree with you. It would be weird if James Spader was coming out of Paul Bettany's mouth. But you're right. When they're fighting, how are we supposed to obviously we see the difference between the two of them, but we gotta for our brains, we gotta hear.
There's gonna be a robot voice going on.
But what is Vision? This is Vision without the Mind Stone. What is Vision without the Mind Stone if not just Ultron? Because Ultron created Vision to be his next iteration.
Right, but he didn't make the vibranium body, did he?
He did.
Oh, he created it entirely.
Yeah,
himself?
Remember he's got the little thing that he's building him in, and he's hooked up to the back of his head.
I don't know. It's like
it's been a while since we've seen a.
He created all those robots that like fought with him too, right?
Yeah,
and none of them had any voices. But then when he kind of downloaded his sentience into that last robot to try to make a final escape, it sounded like him.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't think it's going to be.
So over under 50% that James Spader's voice comes out of this.
Oh, there's no 50%. 100% chance it's not his voice.
Okay, I'm gonna go under 50. I'm gonna say 20% it's James Spader. Like I just want to, when we're watching this and James Spader's voice comes out of this character, I want to be like, ha! I 20% knew it. All right, well, that's all good and fun, and yeah, we will probably see him fight. They gotta have that Vision versus Vision fight. That's the only thing that can happen with that. So
do you think that Vision is going to take over the White Vision's body in the end?
That's kind of what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that Wanda will somehow put her memory of Vision, which is essentially the WandaVision, into... Ooh. Yeah, exactly. That's what the whole show is, guys. WandaVision is the vision that Wanda created. That is the WandaVision.
Yeah.
And then it would be really cool if she put the WandaVision inside of Spectral Vision and they became one, and then he was real and could leave the Hex.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. I don't think that's going to happen, though, because... unless literally the entire cast and crew of the show is trolling us, they've said prepare for a sad ending.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
All right.
But anyways, moving on from that for now, let's talk about a little thing we like to call Phaetro, as Agatha put it in the last episode. So Evan Peters, as we've been talking about for weeks, he's not Aaron Taylor Johnson, who played Quicksilver in Age of Ultron, but he is the Quicksilver from the Fox Marvel Universe, which is no longer a thing since Disney has now acquired Fox. And now Evan Peters is in this show as Quicksilver. So tell me, Brandon, do you think that this was just a clever meta joke on Kevin Feige's part, or do you think that there is more substance to this and this is the Fox Quicksilver?
I don't. If we had to give a 50-50, I'd be right in the middle, which bums me out because I was really looking forward to it being the Fox Pietro. I thought this was the coolest way. I think a lot of people thought this was like the coolest way to merge the two universes together, and it would be a massive disappointment if that wasn't the case. I don't know. Like, there's no good reason why he wouldn't look exactly like the Marvel Universe Pietro if she she said something about
she couldn't do necromancy, like she couldn't raise him from the dead.
Right, but what is the explanation then? She just made a different Pietro and she decided that he would look different and just thought Wanda would buy it? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
She had to get this person from somewhere.
Yeah. So it would be so cool, and it seems so obvious because the Doctor Strange movie what is it?
Multiverse of Madness.
It's like the perfect bridge to that.
Right. So. And we've already been told that Wanda is going to be a main character. She's second billed after Cumberbatch.
Yeah, exactly.
For that movie.
It would be both dumb and it would disappoint me a lot because I thought it was really cool that that's how they were going to introduce it. So...
I think, here's what I think honestly happened. I think that they did do this because, Evan Peters was so cool as Quicksilver. Like, let's bring him in as, like, the fake Quicksilver. I do think that they did it mostly as a joke, but then, like, they're seeing, like, all of the fan reactions, which is why the director of WandaVision, it's the same guy who directed all episodes, and he said either today or yesterday, he was like, I know you guys really love Evan Peters Quicksilver, but I tell you what, I'm just gonna say he's gonna do something in the last episode, but I'm not gonna say what. Like,
Well, I mean, okay, it doesn't make
what
sense.
does that mean?
If they threw it in as a joke, they wouldn't allude to the fact that he looks different all the time. Like that scene during the Halloween episode, where they're sitting on the hay bales.
Why do you look different?
Exactly? Like, if it was just a fun little like thing that they did for the fans, they probably wouldn't even allude to it. They would just have her pretend like he wasn't a recast. You don't have Tony Stark making a comment about the recast of War Machine.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's supposed to be the same guy.
He says his first line is I'm here. He says something like I'm here, deal with it. Yeah. And that's like kind of their way of saying this guy was recast. Don't make a big deal out of it.
Also, Mark Ruffalo instead of Ed Norton, like nobody says anything there either. But like, obviously, this is like you look different. It's a different face, and Darcy even says she recast Pietro.
Yeah,
like, it's obvious.
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously, they're making a big deal that he looks different. He's somebody else. And to us, he looks like the Quicksilver from the Fox universe.
Yeah.
So, I think that they underestimated how much people were going to be like, yes!
Yeah.
And now they're kind of stuck in that. But, like, don't be surprised if now they have to, like, because they haven't finished production of Doctor Strange yet. In fact, I don't even think they've started primary filming yet. So they could retweak that a little bit to kind of fix this. Because sometimes Marvel will do that when, you know, fans speak out enough, they'll kind of tweak it.
Is that true?
I think that's my personal prediction, is that they change stuff along the way and be like, see, we were planning on doing that the whole time, but really it's because we didn't want you guys to bitch at us.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So that's what I think. But I do think that in this show, it was just kind of a joke, and I think that he will be a person. He could be a version of Quicksilver from a universe, but I don't think he's specifically supposed to be from the Fox universe right now.
That's a bummer. I hope you're wrong.
But I don't know. They keep talking again. You know, we'll get to who the secret cameo thing is in a little bit, because we're kind of going one to one here through my little notes. Okay, let's talk about. And I only have a few pictures there. Let's talk about Wanda herself. She is. Only in episode 8 have they ever said the Scarlet Witch. It was the first time in the MCU that they have said the Scarlet Witch. I could have sworn that somebody said Scarlet Witch in a secret ending on one of the movies, but at least officially, as far as canon goes, she has only been named the Scarlet Witch as of episode 8 of WandaVision. So she finally has her moniker from the Marvel Comics, and they're doing this cool thing where, you know, she saw herself in the Mind Stone in the future with the full, you know, the crown and the costume and everything. So it kind of alludes to the Scarlet Witch being this mythical thing that Wanda is now like just the next iteration of. Agatha says, "Oh, I thought you were a legend," you know?
Yeah, and you say she saw herself in the future,
right?
But that's not necessarily.
It's not necessarily true.
Yeah, that's the way that you interpreted it. And I when I saw it, when I first saw the episode, I imagined it like it was the kind of like the spirit of the Scarlet Witch, or, you know, like kind of like the title of the Scarlet Witch almost imparting itself into her.
Right.
But yeah, it seems like, especially after what Agatha said about, or she kind of alluded to the fact that there's like maybe some kind of prophecy going on here.
Yeah, like Wanda is the chosen one, but like chosen by who?
Right.
Only one person can do chaos magic, and therefore she is the Scarlet Witch.
Chosen by the stone, right?
See, I would think that maybe it was a mythical past thing, but like, I don't know, if you do the whole, you know, enhance, if you zoom in on that picture, it is Wanda,
like
you know.
Yeah.
And there's also like I didn't get a picture, but the very first teaser image of this show that we got way back whenever, you know, it shows Wanda and Vision behind all those TVs, and some of the TVs show this new Scarlet Witch costume behind her. Like,
oh, really?
Like she's going to wear that costume by the end of the show.
And it wasn't just the Halloween costume.
No, it was like the official costume. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about Agatha, and I didn't get a picture of Agatha for some reason, although that is her plaid behind Wanda's head there. Her head's cut off. I mean, I guess there's not really much to say about Agatha at this point. We kind of got her whole backstory.
Yeah.
You know, I think that she legitimately wanted help from her coven. You know, at the beginning of episode 8, we see her coven trying to kill her, and then she saps the life force out of all of them, including her own mother.
Right.
But to me, I don't think she was kidding when she was like, "Please help me, teach me." I think that she really she just acquired this power that she didn't know how to control, and they were like, "Oh, guess we got to kill you." And she wanted help, and then at some point when they were trying to kill her, that magic just took over, and then she was able to sap all their energy.
So you think it's some kind of like almost like a dark side thing, where like once you've kind of delved into that evil magic, then it kind of consumes you.
Yeah, kind of.
I don't know. I didn't get that, but now that you say it, you're probably right. But when I first watched it, it seemed like she was being super shady, for lack of a better word. It's like she just seemed like she was intentionally lying and trying to get out of the situation. But yeah, she researched some super voodoo that is forbidden by the Coven of Witches.
Some interesting things that people have pointed out, though, is that this book, we didn't see this book in episode 8, we only saw it at the end of episode 7 so far, is we see that book in her basement that's kind of glowing.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. What do you think the book is?
You know, so many people online have thought that that's the darkhold, but I don't think that that's what that is. I think it's very possible that this could be a completely different book of dark spells. And as other people have pointed out, if you go back and watch Doctor Strange, there's the library where all like the ancient books are chained up. There's a book missing, and people are like, well, maybe that's the missing book she stole from the Sanctum.
In the episode, that wasn't even the most recent episode. That was the episode before, right? Yeah. So did they allude to what it was, or was it just Wanda looking at it?
She just looked at it, saw the
and then there was nothing.
Book. They never mentioned it again.
Okay, yeah, because it's obviously important. She stares at it. But yeah, I have no idea what that is. I don't. What do people think it is? The dark what?
Darkhold, which is another, like, it goes to, oh god, what's everybody keeps saying it's like Cthulhu. It sounds kind of like Cthulhu, but it's not Cthulhu. It's like Cthulhu, some ancient dark spirit / god / entity made the Darkhold out of like flesh, kind of like the Necronomicon.
What does it do?
Gives you like superpowers and shit.
Oh, okay. Well, that could be where she got the cool purple powers.
Could be. It could be
the Purple Power book.
It's just here's the thing: we already saw the Darkhold in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the show, and it actually said Darkhold on it. It was kind of dumb. But according to Kevin Feige, and we could make a whole episode about this sometime. According to Kevin Feige, every show before WandaVision, and that includes things from Netflix like Daredevil, that includes ABC shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Runaways or anything that was before WandaVision, wasn't him and is not canon. Because what happened was Kevin Feige has been the president of Marvel Studios, that's the movie branch, for like a decade now, or maybe 2 decades, however long he's been doing it. Before that, he was vice president of Marvel. Now, he is the CEO of Marvel. He is in charge of all comic books, television, and movies. So shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. were produced without his input. But he complained enough to Bob Iger at Disney to become the lead man at Marvel. So now Kevin Feige, God Feige, is saying none of those shows are canon. But
just to be clear, he said all shows,
100%
TV shows of Marvel TV shows are now non-canon
before WandaVision.
It's just like a greater Star Wars universe just getting completely.
Well, yeah. Well, because what would happen is stuff like the Terrible Inhuman show would happen, and Kevin Feige would be like, I don't want that to be connected to my universe. And the guy that was in charge of TV was like, well, too bad. I'm in charge of TV. I can do what I want.
Right.
But then Kevin Feige goes to Bob Iger, and he's like, this guy is ruining the, like, we don't know.
Yeah.
And Bob Iger's like, well, I see how people hate those TV shows and how much people are paying to see your movies.
Yeah.
So Kevin Feige for only like the last year or so has been just completely in control of all Marvel.
Got it.
So yeah, he's like, all that crap didn't happen. Okay. So yeah, this could be the Darkhold, and it could just look different than it did in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., or it could be a completely different book.
That's the only other time it appeared?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that would be cool. If it was also stolen out of the Super Wizard library, then that would make sense also to have another tie-in for Doctor Strange, which should definitely happen.
Yeah, so there's a lot of questions about Agatha, because obviously her character is very different than it is. I mean, a lot of these characters are different than they are in the comics, because they're trying to build a universe based on us. Usually it's us just watching them 2 hours at a time.
Is Agent Wu in the comics?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think he's an original character.
Agent Wu is my favorite.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's an original character. Jimmy Woo. He's on the right there. So anyways, now let's move on to Monica. She is in this picture. So she has apparently, she wasn't in episode 8 either, but it seemed like she was pretty much given her photon powers, where she came out of, it took a much longer time for her to move through the hex wall, because it's gotten so much more powerful by this point. And when she came out of it, she was able to see the energy coming out of the phone lines and the energy in the hex. She's pretty much Neo now. Yeah. She could see the Matrix,
Yeah.
And she's able to, she has that kinetic energy. When Wanda threw her on the ground, and she just Superman lands, and she absorbs all that kinetic energy.
Right.
So she pretty much has her powers now. What that will mean as far as fighting Wanda and or Agatha, we don't know.
I think she's probably going to have a sick fight between Pietro, right?
Yeah, she could. That's right. In that secret ending, Snooper's going to snoop.
Snooper's going to snoop.
But is he bad? I mean, Agatha said she was controng him. But
if she's controlling him, it seems like she's definitely bad. She's choking 2 kids at the end of the episode.
It's true, yeah. So we'll see what happens there, but I don't know. It's always a possibility that Agatha could come out of this episode not being all bad, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And as far as Monica goes, I don't know. Whatever happens, she's got some cool powers going on. I know we're really descriptive about Monica here. We're like, she's got some cool powers. Let's see what happens.
I'm excited to see what she does because she doesn't, unlike everybody else in this series, other than the kids, she's not going to just shoot laser beams. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, she'll absorb.
I guess
the
the fast.
beams.
Well, no, you got Quicksilver, the child, and her all not shooting laser beams.
It's so funny. We'll talk about this for a second. It's so funny how in movies, like, everything just kind of comes down to lasers.
Laser beams.
Because, I mean, it is the simplest
Yeah.
Visual you can do for, like, showing energy and power. It's like,
Yeah.
well, my lasers are bigger and more
Exactly.
powerful than
if
your
you're not
lasers.
just like good at punching people, then you have a laser beam.
Right.
Yeah. At least in the MCU. But
Great.
everybody else will just punch. Does Photon just punch a lot?
She can punch really good. I don't know, she can deflect a lot of stuff. Well, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be awesome. Let's move on to the kids now. So people have talked about, the kids, obviously, these magical kids that just showed up. I don't think that these kids are going to just disappear. I know that people keep comparing it to several stories that have happened in the comics. I'm not going to go too much into the comics today because you've probably already watched a dozen other YouTube videos about what happens to the kids in the comics. So, regardless of what happens in the comics, I do think that these kids are here to stay in this show.
I agree.
I don't think they're going to get rid of the kids. I think somehow the hex is going to... I do think the hex will go away. Wanda will decide the hex will go away, but then when the hex goes away, the kids are just going to be... She's like, oh, the kids are still here. It's going to be like a miracle.
Yeah.
Like she created life. and it is the kids. Vision, I don't know. No, not so much. I do think that Vision is going to die.
I think it's going to be a tragedy for sure. Yeah. But I think you're right. It would be uncharacteristic of the current Marvel Cinematic Universe heads to just murder off these kids. Because the kids didn't have a huge part in the show yet. It seems like they'll have a lot more in the future of the MCU, maybe in the movie. Maybe have their own movie. That'll be awesome.
And spoiler, these two young kids that play the children, Wanda's kids, they have already been seen, and I can't remember exactly wherever in Europe where they're about to film Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Those kids have put on their it's been taken off their Instagrams now, but they were shown in Europe feeding ducks. It just happens to be in the same town they're filming Multiverse of Madness.
That's such a spoiler. I didn't even want to hear that.
But that could they could be just trolling us again with that, because we've had Tom Holland Spider-Man troll us by accident and then troll us on purpose and it not be that thing. So that's the fun thing. You never know what the spoilers really are with these things, and it seems kind of to have both kids put on their Instagrams these things and then it just seems a little like maybe because they're like so we don't know.
Real quick, Slater says hi, Richie. Also, Killjoy says they're going to kill off Vision 3 times, which is true. This is going to be the third time.
4 times if you count both Visions that are going to die.
Yeah. Quad kill.
He's going to have to merge with himself, but then kill himself to get rid of himself.
Yeah.
All right, the last thing we're going to talk about is Doctor Strange / the Cameo. We've heard from various cast members that there is a big cameo coming, and then we heard from Paul Bettany several days ago that he can't wait to work with this actor. And then Good Morning America just today kind of called him out on it, and they were like, so this actor that you've been wanting to work with, is it just yourself since you're gonna, and he's just like, I don't know, so.
Well, have people looked at who in the MCU has he not worked with?
He hasn't worked.
A short list of that. Right?
Well, yeah, he hasn't worked with Benedict Cumberbatch face to face yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he also said in that same thing where he said about this cameo that Benedict Cumberbatch was not going to be in WandaVision, which seems crazy since in the very first cast meeting that they did live before the show started, Benedict Cumberbatch surprised everyone at the end of that, and he's like, I'm here, and they're like, Benedict Cumberbatch, because Wanda's going to be in that movie. He's like, yep, just in that movie. So I think I do think that this is all a lot of misdirect. I mean, I think that because this is going to lead directly into Doctor Strange 2, I can't imagine Doctor Strange, at least, he's got to at least show up in the after credits. And maybe Paul Bettany just didn't know that he was in it because maybe they just didn't film together,
Sure. But then that still leaves who Paul Bettany was talking about.
Right. When it could be, he could have been just, saying like, oh, I've always wanted to work with this actor, and it's himself.
It could be that what he meant was like the dark side of himself. If he has to play an evil vision, that's what I was thinking. Like,
right.
He gets to play around with an evil version, because I don't know how many movies he's been in where he's the bad guy, but I don't think it's a lot. It might be exactly 0. But is there anybody else? I mean, obviously you think it's going to be Strange, but is there anybody else that you think?
Yeah, people point out that Paul Bettany has never worked with Ian McKellen or Patrick Stewart.
Oh, right. Okay.
And it would be, people are expecting that, like, this revelation, which I just don't think there's time for in the time we have left in this show, to reveal that, like, maybe Wanda was adopted by the Sokovian parents, and of course her real dad, like in the comics, would be Magneto. And people are like, is there going to be this big moment where, like, Ian McKellen shows up out of the blue and he's just like, Wanda, I'm your father, which at this point I just feel like that would be a little too late.
Yeah, it's insane. Because it would be like, I'm your father in a different dimension. Like, there's another you in a different dimension that I am the father of.
Yeah.
But not in this dimension.
What would make more sense to me than that is a Patrick Stewart appearance, or even a what's his name, James McAvoy. But I'd rather have Patrick Stewart come out in his wheelchair and be like, Wanda, we are mutants.
Maybe he shows up as Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah, he's just in his Picard outfit. Yeah. I am Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise.
Yeah.
Where have I landed?
I think it's going to be Ed Norton's The Hulk.
And it's revealed that he's a separate Hulk,
yeah.
Who's
actually
also named Bruce Banner.
Maybe it's Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk, as like a geriatric
Look,
Hulk.
kids, it's Lou Ferrigno. That's a great cameo.
No one knows who the hell he is. Yeah, that would be terrible.
I think that Doctor Strange is kind of a given. I hope. I'll be kind of disappointed if Strange isn't in it, but I also won't be. I don't know. I want whatever happens. I just want it to be good. I mean, the director was even saying, he was like, it's really sad. It may even be if you're hoping for a happy ending, it may disappoint you. So take all those things that people are saying with a grain of salt, because again, they could all be trolling us. We never know. But I do expect some explanation of Pietro.
For sure.
/ in the X-Men universe, he's actually they call him Peter. That's like his Americanized name.
Lame.
But Peter Maximoff.
No.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, exactly. I want to Wanda
that. So I hope we get an explanation of him. I hope we're going to obviously have to get some resolution on Agatha and what her whole deal is, and we'll figure out. There's so much this show has so much to do.
Yeah.
How long do you think this episode is going to be?
What was the last episode, the normal length?
No, the last episode was 42 minutes.
And they're normally like 27 or something?
Yeah.
They're so short.
And that's when you get rid of all the credits and everything at the end.
Right. I think there were like 22 after no credits or something like that, which is way too short. Yeah. But I hope it's really long. I hope it's at least an hour. If it's another 22-minute, that's impossible. There's literally no chance it's that.
I think it'll be at least as long as last episode.
That's a guarantee. But it would be really cool if it was an hour long. I would even take a whole movie length. I love this show.
Yeah.
It's awesome, and they do have a lot of gaps to fill and a lot of cool fights to have.
And a lot of Patrick Stewart.
A lot of Patrick Stewart
shooting lasers out of his wheelchair.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get all of our wishes. Maybe Patrick Stewart will show up. Maybe the Super Wizard, Doctor Strange will show up, and Lou Ferrigno.
And Spider-Ham.
Yeah,
that's the cameo. It's Spider-Ham.
It could be. Wasn't there like some allusion to like the all the Spider-Mans coming together?
Well, yeah, but that was for the next Spider-Man movie. No Way Home is what it's called. That comes out at the end of the year. But Doctor Strange has been confirmed to be in that movie as well.
Of course,
because he's just this whole phase is about him.
I don't think Benedict Cumberbatch does anything but make movies, and in this case,
human
TV
movies.
Shows. Yeah, human movies. But yeah, no, it could be Tobey Maguire, which I think would make me really happy.
And he just is emo Peter Parker.
Yeah. No, definitely not. No claps, none of that. No, just being his cool self from the first movie.
I'm Peter Parker.
Yeah, that would be sweet, but it's not going to happen.
No, I don't see that happening.
No, it's going to be Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange and Professor X, played by the one and only Patrick Stewart.
Or Magneto.
Or Ian McKellen.
Ian McKellen as Gandalf.
Ian McKellen as Gandalf as Magneto. But again, I would settle for Fassbender or McAvoy as those roles too.
I would too.
I don't like them as much as McKellum and Stewart.
I would be psyched, and it would make more sense as far as their careers are concerned. Like, I imagine both of those dudes are probably like, I don't want to sign a 10-year contract to do the next Avengers movies. 10 years from now.
I mean, I'm trying to remember, like, do you know how old is Michael Fassbender?
Dude, they're both crypt keepers. Like, when they're not in makeup and they take their, like, Instagram photos, you know how they're always hanging out?
Yeah.
They look so old. I don't know how old they are. Maybe they just look bad. Maybe I'm just an asshole.
I think Michael Fassbender is he's got to be around 50 now, right?
It has to be older. Fassbender. I don't know. Is that what you said originally? I thought you meant Ian McKellen.
Oh, Ian McKellen. No, those guys are like 80.
Yeah, no, those guys are ancient. They're not signing any 10-year.
No.
I think Fassbender and what's his name
McAvoy
would definitely be. I mean, I imagine they'd be willing to sign.
Right, but what I'm wondering is Michael Fassbender, his Magneto, in this universe, would his Magneto be old enough to be Wanda's father? Because I think he's around 50. Yeah. Elizabeth Olsen is around 30, so he's about 20 years older.
Yeah,
so
I thought you said Ian McKellen was around 50. I'm like, dude, what?
No, yeah, Fassbender's about 50, so technically he would be old enough to be Wanda's father.
Well, how old is Wanda supposed to be?
I don't know how old she's supposed to be, but Elizabeth Olsen is 30.
Right.
Know?
Yeah, no, he'd be old enough.
Wanda could technically be, I mean, I don't know, how old was she supposed to be in Age of Ultron? They referred to her as a kid.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah.
But definitely Fassbender, I think, looks old enough to play, he could be her dad.
For sure.
And that would be awesome.
Yeah. No,
He's like, I've been looking for you my whole life.
It just wouldn't make sense.
Wouldn't it, though? Couldn't it?
I think it's just wishful thinking.
All right. Well, this has been very...
Killjoy says Fassbender's only 43.
Ooh,
damn.
Still old enough in a
give him
weird
some
way.
wrinkles.
Yeah, they could age him up. I mean, weirder things have happened.
Yeah.
He could play 50.
Yeah, they could give him makeup.
I think Fassbender as her father would probably make a little bit more sense than McKellum, who he would have to be
either
like
way.
her
It doesn't make sense. He doesn't. She does. Her dad is. We saw her dad in her visions. Remember?
Maybe they could retcon the whole thing. Mutants have been around the whole time, and maybe they used Wanda as a kid to like put a veil over everybody so nobody knows that mutants were there. And then, of course, Hugh Jackman will show up as Wolverine, still there,
okay,
still
that
alive.
would be my favorite. I take it back. No Lou Ferrigno, no Ed Norton, no Tobey Maguire. If Hugh Jackman comes back as Wolverine, I'll be the most psyched. Yeah, in like a yellow costume.
Yeah, in the yellow costume, and then he dies immediately.
Yeah. He dies of old age.
He just has the Logan death over again. The girl comes out, puts the X
thing, yeah.
And they're like, what is this?
Are they going to do... No, they're not, because that's all Fox stuff. I was going to say, are they going to do like the young X-Men stuff with that? But that's not even... That's an MCU.
I mean, they're rebooting all of
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know. The Quicksilver thing's confusing. All right, guys. I think that's going to do it for us. Brandon, do you have anything else to say about WandaVision?
Nope.
Cool.
Can't wait for this episode tonight.
Super
but I'm
excited.
Going to totally wait till tomorrow to see because I'm not going to stay up that late.
Yeah.
Although I should. We should watch together tonight.
I want to watch it tonight. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for all of your super chats and your lovely selves being here and watching this. I hope to have more Rich Alvarez shows. I kind of did one a couple weeks ago and then didn't do it again, and I don't want that to be the case. I want this to be consistent. I don't know how often per week or whatever I'm going to do this, but it's definitely going to be more than I've been doing it. So thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like this video, comment on this video, subscribe to this channel, tell your friends about this channel, tell your brothers, sisters, friends, and your friends, neighbors, all about this channel.
Thanks for watching, guys.
All right, guys. Have a wonderful day and an even better tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.